Let's focus on the game. Two of the biggest clubs in the first round of the Carabao Cup, Leeds and Middlesbrough, about to get it on here at a noisy Ellen Road. It's live on Talksport with League Cup winner Danny Mills, alongside your commentator, Tim Proudfoot.
Well, thank you, Adrian, and a good evening to you for the highest profile tie of the League Cup week. Of the 70 clubs in this round, Leeds and Middlesbrough both ranked in the top 7, and both have won the competition in the past. Tonight, though, one of them is going to be falling at the first hurdle. As a reminder of the teams, Leeds, Carl Darlow in goal. They've made 8 changes tonight. Byron, Roden, Verba and Firpo, the back four. Ampadu and Rothwell. Aronson, Gelhardt, Peru and Bamford. Leeds bench, Bogle, Strout, James and Joseph, Ruta, Nonto, Grueth, Crew and Melier. Well, Sol Bryn makes his Borough debut in goal. Dijkstra, Howson, Clark and Engel, Morris and Barlaser, Jones, Gilbert, Bergstall and Coburn. And Borough subs, Hackney, Lattelat, Ayling and Hamilton. Azaz, McCormick, 17-year-old midfielder Finn Cartwright, 17-year-old centre-half Harley Hunt, and keeper Tom Glover. Well, whenever you get a match between two clubs, you always think of the players that have played for both of them. So who better to have alongside me for the Johnny Howson derby than Danny Mills?
For Jimmy Hasselbank or Mark Viduka.
Or Luke Ayling.
So he's on the bench, sorry, we can't
or
get
Jonathan
him.
Woodgate.
Yeah, we can't get him tonight.
Well, you're here, you'll do. Leeds in all white, kicking from left to right in this first half. Better weather at this stage of the day than any previous time here in Yorkshire. Sun just glinting through the shadows on the pitch. And Leeds get us underway. As I say, kicking from left to right. They're in all white tonight, and Middlesbrough in all red. Verba in possession on the edge of his own penalty area. Joe Roden just peeling away to the right-hand side, waiting for the ball. Coburn, the big blonde-haired striker, really imposing figure, who's leading the line for Middlesbrough tonight. Threatening to put a little bit of pressure on, but it's still going to be easy for Roden to be able to bring it forward. Sam Byram has already taken up a position very high from right back. Middlesbrough playing the two centre-halves very wide. Ethan Ampadu just dropping in between the pair of them in a bid to be able to try and get a little bit of width and height up the pitch. Here is Ampadu, nominally playing in midfield, but he will drop deep and split the centre halves frequently. Ball works out towards Junior Firpo on the Leeds left. Dominated possession. I think Borough have already had a touch in the opening minute or so down.
Having said that, this is first time Leeds have gone into the Borough half, isn't it? They've just, they've been allowed to keep it at the back. I think Borough will sit off, allow them to have possession. Interesting, Borough players off about a 4-diamond-2 formation.
Leeds working the ball forward. It's just too long for Firpo. Goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on that far touchline. So Bergzorg is up front alongside Coburn. Delano Bergzorg, who was on loan at Huddersfield last season, made his debut for the last 10 minutes on Saturday for the Borough in their 1-0 win against Swansea. They've signed him from Mainz in Germany, and he's up top alongside Coburn. He might be making one of his last Borough appearances for now. There's been plenty of speculation that he'll be away on loan, with Millwall being mentioned as one of the teams that he may go to. Here's Joe Roden in possession for Leeds, who was here on loan last season, has now made that move a permanent one from Tottenham in a £10 million deal. He's got it again, working it to his left-hand side for Verba, who was away from here on loan and is now back. Aronson linking up the play. Forward it goes through the midfield towards Byron. Movement ahead of him comes from Joe Gelhardt. It's played into his feet. Taking it on Peru. Aronson attempting something. It's Firpo. Good save by the goalkeeper. Sol Bryn came out, narrowed the angle really quickly. Firpo getting in, a left-footed shot, a really good Leeds move. And Bryn came out, quickly narrowed the angle, got his body in the way, and Borough survived.
Yeah, I'm not sure how intentional that was as Leeds were going through. Aronson was trying to get it onto his own left foot to have a shot.
Well, the two of them linking up again now, with Aronson trying to walk it through inside the penalty area. It's Firpo again that had the attempt. Coburn fouled by Ampadu on the edge of his own box. And that's a whistle that is greeted with relief from a Middlesbrough perspective. They have a free kick and a chance just to draw a bit of breath.
Yeah, just getting a replay of it now. Now it's a good ball from Aronson. Not sure if he was trying to pick out Bamford or whether he saw Firpo. Firpo's touch actually let him down a little bit. It bobbled, it sat up for him, and then he had to wait to get his shot away, which meant the goalkeeper had time to spread himself.
So 3.5 minutes gone, 0-0. We'll keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in. 2 more League Cup ties taking place for you tonight. Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 up at Hull. It's still 0-0 between Wayne Rooney's Plymouth and Cheltenham. And they're underway as well in Warsaw in the Super Cup between Real Madrid and Atalanta through the opening 4 minutes there at 0-0. Middlesbrough in possession with Johnny Howson at the back. 225 games for his hometown club here in 6 years. He's been away for more than a decade now. Leeds doing well to win it back with Roden. Gelhardt on the right-hand side of the penalty area, trying to cut onto his left foot to get a shot in. Well cleared by Morris, the summer signing for Middlesbrough. Aidan Morris, the American from Columbus Crew. And he's got it away. Then a wonderful turn from Bergsaw, taking one of the Leeds defenders out of the picture. Bergsaw's got Coburn for company inside the penalty area. Can't find him. Low stinging shot towards the near post, which is kicked away by Darlow. And it goes out of play for the first corner of the night, which will be taken on the Middlesbrough right.
Well, proper end-to-end. Gelhardt does really well. I think he maybe should have just took the shot on a little bit quicker. But then when Middlesbrough break, it's a fabulous turn from Bergsaw. He sells Verba the dummy, who buys it completely, and then he's in space. He drives into the penalty area. The angle's not great for him, and in the end, he decides to fire it straight at the goalkeeper.
So a corner on the Middlesbrough right. Bergsaw, 1 of 6 inside the penalty area to attack it. Coburn got his head to it. He then took another touch of a flick header on its way through, and that one's gone just wide.
Well, a very open game already. A couple of very, very good chances for both sides. It's a free header. Not quite sure who the second header was as it came in. Yeah, there was an awful lot of players in there, wasn't there? But again, Leeds can't allow that to happen. 2 free headers, not really acceptable from a corner.
Really bright start of the game. 0-0 here on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot and Danny Mills talking through the action. And Joe Rodon's going to be able to bring the ball forward again for Leeds. Plays it to his left-hand side for Ampadu, dropping deep again to split the centre halves. And now played across the defence for Max Verba. Verba, who signed an £11 million deal from Salzburg this time last year. Leeds looking long. Bamford with a touch. Should be easily cleared by Jones for Middlesbrough, but in doing so, he's just presented it straight to Ampadu. His touch not the best, and Morris did well to be able to get his foot on that. Clark now out towards the left for Engel, and he will fire it forward, but Coburn not allowed any space to be able to run into to try and take on Roden. And it clears the pair of them and goes through to Carl Darlow, the Leeds keeper. Enterprising stuff, though, through the opening 6.5 minutes here at Ellen Road. Sam Byram in possession, making his 150th start for the club tonight over his 2 spells. 15 yards inside their own half for 2 Leeds centre-halves. Just exchange passes again. Ampadu dropping back to give them another option, but Verba can bring it forward. Worked into the feet of Aronson, the busy American, who will drop the ball off and then spin and try and get a run on Isaiah Jones. Leeds work it back, though, rather than trying to play a forward pass towards Aronson. Verba can motor forward now, the inside left channel. Firpo coming in off the left flank, just turning the ball back. Possession must be about 85-15 in Leeds' favour in the opening 7 minutes, and it's Borough that have come the closer to scoring. Byram back towards halfway. Ampadu, hair newly blonde for the new season. 4 from him. Verba, left-footed ball, clipped inside the penalty area. Going up for it was Bamford. Clark flicked it into Gelhardt's path. He's held it up well. Now Byram on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Back for Gelhardt again. Ball played into the feet once more of Aronson in the midfield. Back he comes from Rothwell. Now out towards the left flank for Junior Firpo. Middlesbrough having to be so regimented, almost chasing shadows in the opening 8 minutes.
Yeah, but I think when you look at it, the way that they're set up, this is their game plan. One thing that obviously leads through losing Somerville. Obviously, Nonto's not playing this evening. They don't have out-and-out wingers.
So as a result of that, there's more pressure on Firpo to push forward down the left-hand side, and he's already seen plenty of it. He's won a throw there.
Yeah, and this is why I think Borough have looked at this and thought, well, actually, we'll play a diamond in midfield because we don't really need to worry too much about the width. The width from Leeds and the forward areas out wide is going to come from the fullbacks more than anybody else. And they go, well, actually, you're a fullback for a reason. Certainly at this level, we can let them have the ball a little bit more, and we'll pack the midfield area and worry about the middle of the park. And again, just by losing that one player in Somerville, I know obviously Nonto's on the bench this evening, they might have to change the way that they play this season. Whereas, last season they were two very wide, high wingers with absolute pace that could just run at people all the time. They don't have that anymore.
Here's Joe Rothwell, who's on loan from Bournemouth. He won promotion with Southampton in a loan spell last season. Now down towards Gelhardt on the Leeds United right, and it was a poor challenge by Clark. Byram's turn too good for him. And referee Anthony Backhouse's first decision of the night, really, whether to book him or not. He's kept the yellow card in his pocket. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Leeds, level with the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area, and probably 2/3 of the way from the right-hand side of the box back out towards the right-hand touchline. Good chance this, though, with men in white pushing forward for him.
Delivery has to be good in these sort of areas. You've got to make the most of it. Set plays, again, who you are, what sort of team you are. Set plays is always a free opportunity to put an unopposed cross into the box.
6 in the penalty area, 2 more on the edge of the box for Leeds. Sony Firpo hasn't come forward. It's going to be Rothwell to take it. Every Borough player bar one back inside his own penalty area, and it was a free header, but one that's gone over the bar. Right-footed delivery inside the box. Byram climbing the highest, but swivelling, directed his header about 4 or 5 feet over.
Yeah, it was just behind him, so he had to sort of step backwards and then to arch his back and crane his neck to try and get it on target, and because of that, couldn't get over top of the ball and harmlessly over the top.
His first appearance of the season tonight, Sam Byram. He missed the playoff semi-final second leg here, where Leeds were fantastic against Norwich, and missed the playoff final as well because of injury. Matt Clark laying it back for his goalkeeper. Some story for Sol Bryn. 23, he's been at Borough all the way through. Loan spells at Queen of the South and Swindon and Orient, more than 100 games away on loan, and only tonight finally getting the opportunity to play for Middlesbrough for the first time. Third choice keeper this season behind Senny Diang and Tom Glover. Leeds in possession inside their own half with Verba. Verba will play it forward and then get a return ball. Still no goals, or no more goals to tell you about elsewhere. Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 up at Hull, and Cheltenham 0-0 at Plymouth. Those games are both approaching the half-hour mark, and we'll check in with the pair of them very shortly. But Middlesbrough winning the ball back in Leeds territory here. Just a little push on Bergsorg. Was spotted by referee Backhouse. Joe Gelhardt was the perpetrator. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Middlesbrough just inside Leeds territory. Engel taking it quickly. Finding Morris to halfway. Dan Barlaser. Inside the centre circle is Howson. And Howson getting a return ball. Working it away from Bamford, but passing it forward, it's just gone straight through towards Junior Firpo. Aronson winning it back, and then doing well just to flick the ball between the legs of Bergsorg there. Now out on the right-hand side is Gelhardt. Gelhardt working it down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Joel Peru. Chance for him to try and deliver, scuffing the cross. Aronson pulling it back. Barlaser with time for a second touch. Almost a hospital pass across the edge of the area. Rothwell picking it up. Urged to shoot. Can't. Tries to work it wide for Aronson, and it's cleared by Gilbert for Middlesbrough. And there are times when Leeds push forward, and it looks like Borough are hanging on a little bit. They do have the threat on the counter-attack, trying to utilise that now with Jones, and he's won a throw on halfway. 0-0.
I get it, teams want to play out of the back, but sometimes it just becomes ridiculous. You're on the edge of your 6-yard box, facing your own goal, and you give it to a player closer to the goal line who's under pressure. Sometimes you just got to kick it out of play. You've got to, as much as you want to play, you have to do the right thing, and as a defender, the right thing is protecting your goal.
Barlaser and Dyksdale between them were able to survive what was a pretty hairy moment. Middlesbrough now pushing forward upfield, win a free kick of their own in the midfield area.
I think Coburn's going to be vital for that this evening. He's done it a few times already, holding the ball up very, very well and buying those free kicks, if he's got no support in and around him.
Got injured at the back end of last season. Josh Coburn hasn't played since early February prior to his substitute appearance in the win at the weekend. Middlesbrough get a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. When they're out of possession, Borough, it is very much a 5. Dijksteel moving in and playing as one of 3 centre-halves, and Jones playing as the right back in the 5. But when they push forward, Jones is the man that's given the licence to go. And Engel will stay back at left back, and they flatten off to a 4. Here's Bryn to Clark. Back for Sol Bryn again. Taking a touch, then another, right-footed, firing it forward. And it's a good run down that right-hand side from Dijksteel. He's going to be able to pick it up. Bergsorp making his way towards the edge of the area. Coburn's already in there. Jones playing it into the feet of Gilbert. Gilbert in the bottom right-hand corner of the box. Dijksteel playing it back. Gilbert working it round the corner. Bergsorp making a good early run. Has to peel away. Ball went back for Barlaser. Now work for the idea right from Dijksteel. It was a good run down the right-hand side of the penalty area from Alex Gilbert. But the pass was lacking in quality. It was overhit and misdirected. Apart from that, it was all right. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. 14 gone, 0-0 between Leeds and Middlesbrough. Here's Danny Mills.
You're right, Jim. It was a really good move down that right-hand side. Just that last pass, execution, just lacking a little bit. But just looking down at the touchline, the 2 managers, Michael Carrick hardly moved. Very, very calm at times, just telling his team to stay calm. Hardly moved.
Josh Coburn, just for a moment, thought he was in.
So did I.
And had dispossessed Ampadu. The referee says you did dispossess him, but you fouled him in the process. And it didn't appear to be an awful lot in. Maybe the left arm, actually, from Coburn, just around the side of the cheek of Ampadu. And I think that was what the referee saw.
Wasn't huge amounts in it.
Leeds have it with Byram. Play back towards Roden. And Roden to his goalkeeper, Carl Darlow. Darlow, whose last appearance for Leeds was in the league defeat at West Bromwich Albion back in December. He did play in the second round exit. The penalty shootout that we brought you live last season. Leeds going out to Salford in round 2 of this competition. As the ball was played forward now by Leeds towards Sam Byram. It's a good jump by Engel to win it back. And then Middlesbrough end up with a throw, with a touch from Morris played into the nearest Leeds player, and a throw that Borough will take in the left-back position. 16 gone, Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 0. Friday, just 48 hours away to the start of the Premier League season. A 7 o'clock build-up for an 8 o'clock kick-off at Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on Fulham. We will be there, and a choice of listening as well. We've got EFL action for you on Friday on Talksport 2. As Coventry take on an Oxford side who've won both of their games in League and Cup so far this season without conceding a goal. Coventry-Oxford, Friday night on Talksport 2. They're both 8 o'clock kickoffs on the Talksport network. The ball is over on the Middlesbrough right, on the far side from us. Now Bamford is judged to have fouled his man. Dijksteel just picking himself up now. It's a free kick that Middlesbrough will take just outside their own penalty area.
Leeds have had an awful lot of possession so far. Have dominated, clearly. My concern would be, obviously this is not necessarily their preferred front line, is it? In these positions with Rutten not in there, Nonto not in there either. If anything happens to those players, is the current front 3 out there at the moment good enough to win you the title? That would be my concern, and maybe this is what Daniel Farke's waiting for, to add some quality to that front line.
Well, I think that the loan market is going to be absolutely critical for a number of clubs in the Championship to see who becomes available on loan from Premier League sides as the days tick down towards the
It's a lottery though, that,
deadline.
Jim. That's the problem. You're thinking, who's going to come available? It's not like, this is our target, this is the player that I want to fit into my system, go and get him. You're waiting till the very last minute, and that's when you're trying to shoehorn players into a team. You're going, it's not quite what I want, but he's got some quality, so I'll bring him in. Then do you have to try and change that play, or even change the way that you play?
Well, one player that they were after, Jessiran Raksaki's going to Sheffield United on loan instead from Crystal Palace. I think that they had been hoping that they were going to be able to bring him here, player with versatility across the front line. Ball's in the hands of Sol Bryn. 18 minutes gone. Leeds 0, Borough 0. Let's find out what's happening elsewhere in the Carabao Cup. First, the MKM, Jeff Peters.
Sheffield Wednesday leading Hull 2-1. Charlie McNeil, formerly of Man United, 2 goals on debut for Wednesday, either side of Marvin Malam's first since joining Hull. Tigers look entertaining going forward, abysmal in defence. Anthony Rachopi, the keeper, has had a shocker for McNeil's second. Wednesday lead Hull 2-1.
And to Plymouth, Ian Danter.
36 gone. It's Plymouth 0, Cheltenham 0. Decent start from the League Two side, but Plymouth have eased their way into the contest. Ryan Hardy's had a good chance inside 10 minutes, stinging the palms of Joe Day. They've had the ball in the net as well, Plymouth, but it was ruled out for offside. Fairly even, Stephen, at the moment. Plymouth Argyle 0, Cheltenham 0.
Now what's been happening in the European Super Cup in Warsaw, Kevin Hatcher.
Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0 with nearly 19 minutes gone in Warsaw. Kylian Mbappe has had flashes of inspiration. One shot from 12 yards out was brilliantly blocked by the outstretched leg of Isaac Hien, the Atalanta defender. And then there was a cross from Dani Carvajal on the right that was missed by both Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0.
So 0-0 there, 0-0 here as well at Ellen Road between Leeds and Middlesbrough. Joel Peru doing well, linking up well with Aronson. Aronson making his way forward, poking it into the path of Byram, who finds himself in the number 10 role. Then it goes back for Peru. He tried to side foot it to his right-hand side for Aronson, and it's cleared. Verba wins the throw for Leeds by quickly knocking it into Isaiah Jones. And the throw taken swiftly back for Ethan Ampadu. Danny Mills.
Yeah, Leeds still sort of dominating on the front foot, as you'd expect. Not really creating too many clear-cut chances, and that's the only sort of half worry I would have at the moment.
Firpo on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Has a shove there on Jones, but the referee says no and has given Leeds a corner. Middlesbrough players not happy with that. It did appear as though the hands were firmly in the back of Jones. The referee obviously felt that there wasn't really sufficient force to put him on the deck, so he's given a corner that Rothwell will go across to take.
I thought it was a clear foul. I think he'd lost possession of the ball, then just pushed him over.
It'll be a little bit controversial were Leeds to score from this. In comes Rothwell's in-swinging corner. Clark got his bald head to it and was able to flick it away and out for a throw that'll be taken on this near touchline by Joe Gelhardt for Leeds. In fact, he's going to leave it for Byram to come across and take. Just short of the midway stage of the first half. 0-0 between Leeds and Middlesbrough here on Talksport. Joel Peru to Byram, back for Roden. Roden inside the centre circle for Verba. Verba playing it to his left-hand side for Junior Firpo. Middlesbrough pressing and trying to win possession back. That was a clear foul from Jones as well. The referee's given that one. Leeds taking it quickly. Peru working it wide. Byram to Gelhardt. Good movement from Leeds. Not quite such a good cross. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Nobody coming in at the far post to attack that. Jones then gets his defensive clearance wrong. He's looking for Dykesdale to help him out, and he's just passed it straight over the line out of play for a corner.
Yeah, he just panicked a little bit in that moment, had sort of time and space, and again sometimes trying to overplay in the wrong areas. Looks to pass it back to a defender on his own goal line, and it goes out of play for another corner.
So it's another corner that Rothwell's going to take. 10 inside the 6-yard box here. Swung in and well headed away by Clark. Good first contact. Comes out for Gelhardt. Couldn't get himself into a position that he could pull the trigger on his right foot. Then turns away and was pushed over. Caught between Balassa and Jones. And he's won a free kick only about 6 or 7 yards outside the penalty area, right-hand side.
Strange, isn't it, when referees give decisions like that? We saw one very, very similar 2 minutes ago. Was probably a worse incident, and the referee doesn't give it, but then when the player's got the ball and gets pushed over, he does give it.
So Bryn stands by his left-hand post in front of the Norman Hunter stand and is making sure that the one-man wall, Isaiah Jones, is in the right place. Gelhardt moves away. Rothwell standing over the free kick. Ampadu's waiting unmarked actually on the edge of the penalty area. Bamford is in there. Peru trying to make a darting near post run. It's played in lower trajectory this time, half cleared. Gelhardt trying a speculative attempt. Whistle had already gone by then. There was a push off the ball over on the far side of the penalty area, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Borough.
I thought I heard the whistle, but then everybody sort of played on, didn't they? Nobody really sort of stopped, and the referee wasn't particularly clear in what he'd given in that area. Free kick wasn't brilliant from Rothwell, but I think he started quite well. You know, he looks bright. He looks like a decent player.
I remember Russell Martin, when he signed him for Southampton, said he's had a career as a defensive-minded midfielder. I don't see him there. I see him playing in more advanced areas. He's very definitely an 8 rather than a 6. And he has been playing a little bit further forward for Leeds here. He's got it inside the centre circle now, right on cue. Tries to arc a ball over the top for Bamford, but it's well defended by the retreating Howson, who can just turn it back to his goalkeeper. We're 24 minutes in, it's still Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 0.
He's clearly got a bit of quality, Rothwell, and I think, you know, players of that ilk, you want them to be able to find space and get them on the ball as much as possible.
Verba heads it on. Now Gelhardt trying to get the better of Clark. Bamford turning it round the corner for Peru. Referee played the advantage. It turned out that there wasn't any, so he's pulled it back now for that foul on Bamford. A free kick to Leeds, 12 yards outside the box, right of centre. A little bit further out, but a more favourable angle this time.
Is that almost his first touch of the ball? I mean, we've hardly mentioned him, have we, in commentary up to this point? 40 minutes in. Well, just gets caught late, doesn't he? Just a little studs on the ankle.
Yeah, strong challenge by Howson to get him. No malicious intent from the former Leeds man on the former Middlesbrough man. Well, there's a Leeds free kick now. Yeah, he's not been heavily involved, Bamford, at all. He did suffer that patella tendon injury and has struggled to make a huge impact since then. In fact, I think just 4 touches through the opening 25 minutes, producer Sal Ahmad tells us. Which Leeds player can get on the end of this? Rothwell swinging the free kick in, headed back towards the edge of the penalty area by Ampadu, and Jones has got time just to survey his options. He flicks it to his left for Gilbert, and his crossfield ball will change the line of attack for Middlesbrough. He's gone from left out to right. They might be able to get the bodies forward quite quickly here. He's he's done
that a few times, hasn't he, Jim? You know, that big switch, and I like that. Doesn't happen too much in modern day football, because it's like, you know, 10-yard pass, 15-yard pass. Sometimes there's nothing better than a great ping out to the far side, exposed to space.
They're just trying to draw the players over towards this touchline, Middlesbrough, and then they will look to switch it quickly. They've got the pace to make the most of it, but couldn't quite get the pass right on that occasion. Barlassa out to the Middlesbrough right-hand side now for Jones. Bergsorger had a really lively start of the game. He's lacked service since then. He's got it now. Did look like a foul on Dijksteel. The referee says play on, and eventually Bergsorg wins a corner. Well, that was the decision given by the assistant referee.
I don't think it was a corner, Jim.
I'd suggest from the reaction from the Revy stand that it certainly wasn't, but it's been given.
I think it's one of those where I probably should have given the foul. I didn't give the foul. There was no huge advantage. Or I'll give them a corner to try and ease their pain a little bit.
So it's a corner that Gilbert's going to go out to take. The Irishman signed from Brentford. Spots the ball down. 2 or 3 steps back. That'll be his right foot that swings it in. Not the best delivery by any stretch of the imagination, nor was it the most effective clearance from Bamford. Just sliced straight towards the touchline, back to Gilbert. Second ball in, forces Leeds to clear, and Middlesbrough mop up at the back with Jones finding his goalkeeper. And Jones will take it on a touch and now go square to his left-hand side for Dan Barlassa. Barlassa forward into the feet of Aidan Morris, back from him to the bearded Matt Clark. And Clark then drives it left-footed back out towards the Middlesbrough right-hand side again. Leeds doing well to win it back. Get it back to goalkeeper Darlow. Jones will chase over on the far touchline. Man who started his career in non-league football in the London area, but has really made outstanding progress as a Middlesbrough player. He scored against Leeds in the last meeting back in April. Coburn making his way forward here for Middlesbrough. Leeds get it away again. Rothwell back for Verba. And his clearance chested down by Bamford. That was neat play, but the layoff then that followed it from Peru, not so good. Presented it straight to the nearest red shirt. Howson working it wide now for Middlesbrough, who are back midway inside Leeds territory again. Gilbert taking it on. Jones was fouled. Refs played the advantage. Quick feet from Gilbert, beat a couple of Leeds players.
Where's the advantage?
Engel. And he will take it on. Coburn heading it high up in the air. Engel then beaten by Ampadu. Jones is still down injured over on the far touchline, incidentally. Morris has worked it out towards the right-hand side, and now he will stop. And to answer your question, there was no advantage. I suppose that the difficulty is how long does the referee allow the attacking phase to continue before he decides there's no advantage.
As long as he wants.
Wasn't one.
As long as he wants. While that player has still got the ball, he's not made a pass, he's still running at people. If he gets tackled, then stop the game. You could have had a ridiculous incident there where Leeds had a couple of touches, the referee didn't stop the game, it was clearly a foul. In my opinion, it should be a booking on the far side. The referee's played on. What if Leeds then break away? Because you've got, you've allowed some kind of advantage, but you've got a man down the bit. I just think that's poor refereeing at times. Why can't you wait 5 seconds? That's absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. A moment that ball to away, I'll pull it back. There was no real advantage. Go back and have the free kick.
Well, Jones is still down, receiving treatment. A reminder that Leeds next in action away to West Brom. And that's a game that we've got live for you over on Talksport 2. Exclusive championship action, 12:30 Saturday, West Brom against Leeds. Nigel Adderley talking through that one from the Black Country. Also on Saturday, Ipswich and Liverpool. An exclusive game from Portman Road. Ipswich back in the top flight for the first time in more than 20 years. What a nice moment this is. Luke Ayling sent out to warm up by Michael Carrick during the break in play. And he's in front of the Leeds supporters here where he's warming up, and he's just received a magnificent ovation. I mean, they love him here. 268 games.
Wait till he comes on and scores, Jim.
Oh, they won't love him then, and nor should they, in fairness, but they love him now.
Yeah, no, it's a great reception. He's been a fantastic servant for Leeds, and obviously, right through the divisions, got them into the Premier League as well.
Just a nice embrace as well between him and Pascal Strauch, who's also warming up. Jones still receiving treatment. Let's get half-time details from Devon. Plymouth, Cheltenham, Ian Danter.
Plymouth Argyle 0, Cheltenham Town 0. The team in green just needing a bit more of the rub of the green here. Plymouth have had control of things more as the half has gone on. Ryan Hardy, a handful up top. He had their best early chance, testing Joe Day's reflexes inside 10 minutes. And a host of efforts and deflections as the half has gone on. But Cheltenham have had their moments too. 2 shots from distance, one from Ethan Archer, who saw his effort hit the post, then keeper Connor Hazard's arm, and then crept just past the post. Half-time, Plymouth 0, Cheltenham 0.
Middlesbrough on the front foot again. Byram in with a really strong challenge. Jones is still waiting over on the far touchline. Hasn't been given permission to come back on, but has finished receiving treatment now. Middlesbrough's Sol Brent has the ball just outside his penalty area. And he'll hit it forward right-footed. Coburn going up for it, but from an offside position was headed away by Joe Roden. Coburn offside, and a free kick that will be taken by Leeds inside their own half. Had such a good home record last season, unbeaten in the first 19 here at Ellen Road. They won 16 of 17 over a 7-month period, but then lost to Blackburn and Southampton and nearly lost to Portsmouth in their last 3 regular home league games here at Ellen Road. A convincing win in the middle of that against Norwich in the playoffs mind. 0-0 here today. Ball inside the Leeds penalty area looking for Coburn. It might break on the edge of the area for a left-footed shot, which was hit with real conviction by Morris. But diving to his left, it was a comfortable save for Carl Darlow. 0-0.
It was straight at him at the end. But where were the Leeds midfield players in and around the edge of the box? They'd all got sucked in towards the ball. No one really cleared it properly, and there was a slight deflection. I think we just took it into Darlow's midriff, just took the sting out of it as well. But a warning for Leeds.
Yeah, I think it was a better shot than it initially looked. Just took that nick off a foot on its way through from a man who's not necessarily renowned for scoring goals. Only 7 senior goals in his career. Middlesbrough's new central midfielder at a rate of about 1 every 15, 16 games. Ball cleared from our left-hand side. Launched long here by Carl Darlow. Bamford trying to flick it on. Barksdale knocks it back for his goalkeeper. Bryn received the ball that was very brisk and came to him at a slightly difficult height. Almost met him at Yorker length. He did well to control it. He needed a second touch to be able to get it away. Leeds then win it back over on the far touchline from the clearance. Aronson, who's flitted in and out of the game, finds Peru, who's done likewise. And he'll come in off the left flank now for Leeds United. 12 to go to half-time here on Talksport. It's still 0-0. A flick round the corner, back for Aronson, who goes briefly inside the area and then back out again. Aronson turning, facing his own goal on the edge of the Borough penalty area. Ampadu with a good ball forward. Turn from Peru, but couldn't take the ball with him, and Daniel Farker couldn't hide his dismay. Engel clears his lines for Middlesbrough towards halfway, but it's headed straight back by Roden, and then Bergsorg was just overzealous in his attempt to win the ball, and he shoved Byram to the ground. And it's a free kick which will be taken on the Leeds right-hand side by Ethan Ampadu. 0-0 with 34 gone. Half-time details at the MKM. Jeff Peters.
Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Crazy start, 3 goals within 10 minutes. Charlie McNeil scoring twice on his Wednesday debut. The first after 25 seconds, and then after Malem had levelled, he rolled into an empty net after Rachopi, the keeper, missed a back pass. Malem almost levelled again, but cleared off the line. Hull 1, Wednesday 2.
Bergsorg lays the ball back towards the edge of his own penalty area here at Ellen Road, where it's still 0-0, but Leeds getting themselves into a really good crossing position while we're hearing from Jeff. Bamford couldn't quite get his head on it. Rothwell motoring forward now for Leeds. The home fans have already taken to him. And now Borough will bring the ball away, and Gilbert is fouled by Byram, and that's one too many for referee Backhouse's liking. He's the first player to have his name taken. Sam Byram in the book.
Yeah, it was a clear foul. He just dived in, got nowhere near it, left his leg. Clearly knew what he was doing, taking the player down. Okay, he was in the Middlesbrough half, but it would have been a promising counter-attack that he stopped, and I think that's why he got the yellow card, not for the sort of the maliciousness of the foul.
35 gone. We've heard half-time details from the other 2 games in the Carabao Cup. Let's get an update from Walsall in the Super Cup. Kevin Hatchard.
And it remains Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0, but the Italians have dominated the last quarter of an hour, and they came close to scoring. Martin Derone, the former Middlesbrough midfielder, burst into the penalty area, got to the byline. His cross deflected off the head of the Real Madrid defender Eder Militao. Thibaut Courtois, the goalkeeper, beaten, but the ball looped onto the crossbar. Eder Sons had a long-range curler just wide of the top corner. Jude Bellingham's just been booked for an overzealous lunge on the goalkeeper, Juan Musso. Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0.
And Josh Coburn's just had a really good opportunity for Middlesbrough, shooting wide on the turn.
Great move down the left-hand side. Ball comes into the box, it's behind him, but he backs in, holds off the defender. Looks like he might go his right foot, turns the other way, spins with his left, and hits the side netting. But I like what Middlesbrough have done on several occasions. They are quite prepared from the middle of the pitch, centre-half or midfield, to ping that ball out wide to either a full-back or a winger. You know, a direct long ball, really good pass to open the game up, and it's worked for them on 4 or 5 occasions so far.
3 wins in a row for Middlesbrough either side of the summer break. The only loss they've had in the last 13, incidentally, at home to Leeds back in April. There was a glut of goals in the 2 games between these two in the league last season, but 0-0 this one with 8.5 to go to half-time. In fact, Leeds led 2-1 after 7 minutes when the 2 sides last met here back in December. But 0-0 tonight. Verba out of the Leeds left for Junior Firpo. Ball's played back for Roden. Roden to his left-hand side for Rothwell. And Middlesbrough just backing off. Happy for Leeds to have possession in the kind of area where they are now, in the first third of the Middlesbrough half. Joe Gelhardt. Engel trying to stop him getting any further forward. Just gives him a little shove once the ball has gone back for Roden. Roden in turn playing it forward for Verba. Verba coming towards the edge of the penalty area on his left foot, then works it out towards Junior Firpo. Firpo, the Dominican international, played back to his goalkeeper via Verba. And now Roden will bring it forward again. Joe Roden, the Welshman, nearly 50 caps for his country. Ethan Ampadu more than 50, and the 2 of them still less than 50 in terms of age between them. And Roden in possession again. He worked forward out towards the halfway line. Aronson's got it. Another man with extensive international experience. Back for Ethan Ampadu to Roden. And this has been the way of it for a lot of the game. Solid Leeds possession, and yet not really doing an awful lot with it. Now they will try and play dynamic passes between the lines. Flicked over the top for Bamford's run, and it was well watched by Dijksdale, who gets a round of applause from his goalkeeper Bryn, who came quickly off his line and was able to pounce on the loose ball about 7 yards out. It was a good attempt from Peru to find Bamford. Ball slightly overhit and well defended anyway.
Maybe it's because it's very early season, and possibly again add to that the fact that it's pretty much a second string Leeds United side this evening. But they've had some good moments, but they haven't always looked cohesive in that final third, and they haven't been able to sustain more than one attack at a time. It's like one attack breaks down, then they go back and start all over again. You know, when teams are sitting deep, you need to maintain constant pressure on them, keep them thinking, keep them under pressure. So at any moment they can make a mistake, and that's probably the only thing that Leeds haven't been able to do this evening.
Well, that's Danny Mills, who played for both of these clubs as well as England in a World Cup. It's 0-0 between Leeds and Middlesbrough. 6 minutes to go to half-time. A reminder, no extra time in the League Cup. It will go to penalties if the two sides are level. After 90, we had 6 shootouts last night. Now we're going to be getting one here tonight. Middlesbrough have a free kick, but much nearer halfway than the edge of the Leeds penalty area. It is in Leeds territory, though. And Dan Barlasser, the former Rotherham man, will come forward to take this. Just an opportunity to clip the ball towards the edge of the penalty area for Bergsorg. All work it square to his left-hand side for Clark.
Bamford's 2 yards away from the free kick.
Everyone just stood watching, waiting for him to retreat, and nobody said anything, so he didn't bother. The free kick was taken and eventually worked back for Howson. Howson now to Clark. Clark's inside his own half of the centre circle. Lucas Engel, the Danish defender, bringing the ball forward. Now towards Bergsorg again, in front of the Middlesbrough technical area where Michael Carrick stands almost motionless, as Danny was describing earlier. There's just the odd gesticulation with his right hand, but by and large the arms are folded across the chest. And standing there in his black tracksuit, Daniel Farke much more animated. His Barlasser goes back for Clark again. Clark forward over halfway, and then Morris comes back over halfway into his own half. Better possession this though from Middlesbrough, with Howson going out to the Borough right hand side. Gilbert gets it now. The Irishman back for Dan Barlasser. Barlasser trying to just encourage Rothwell towards him. It slips the ball to his right hand side for Dijksdale. Jones is waiting, trying to take up good positions between the lines. Pass was intended for Coburn. And Coburn coming back, thought that he'd won possession back. The referee said he hadn't, and there's another shove. The referee's letting plenty go here. Bergsorg on Gelhardt, that latest one. Ball played forward, well cut out by the retreating Byram. And then played down towards the near touchline where Gelhardt, I don't think, fancied the challenge. He saw that Morris was coming in from distance, and Gelhardt led him to it. And it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Leeds right by Byram.
Yeah, there's a couple of 50-50 challenges in there, wasn't there? The referee decides to let go, but you're right. I think Gelhardt saw him coming over his shoulder. Sometimes you have to be brave and just put your body in the way and draw that foul in. You have to. It's a contact sport still. Sometimes you try to let somebody run into you and get the foul.
And Joe Gelhardt hoping for a chance to impress tonight. He's only had about an hour's worth of league action since this time last year. But we talked earlier in the build-up about the fact that Leeds at the moment down to pretty much 20 senior fit pros, and as a result getting his chance tonight for the 100th senior game of his career today. Joe Gelhardt, just over a half of those have been for Leeds, with the rest out on loan. Throw taken over on the Leeds United left. 3 to go to half-time. Junior Firpo trying to turn it forward. He just got caught actually after the ball had been played. Middlesbrough allowed to play on. Have it on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Dijksdale trying to get it in. Coburn making the run. Deflected away. And Middlesbrough have a corner with 2.5 to go to half-time.
I think there'll be a little pause. Referee stopped it for that. Firpo still down on the far side in the Borough half. Just a normal challenge, I think. Just a coming together between the two. But I think Borough at times, they've done well. They've sat in, they've soaked up pressure. They've played on the counter-attack, and when they've sprayed the ball wide quickly, and got the ball out to those wide players, they've actually done quite well. Leeds have dominated possession, haven't done probably enough with it in the final third, I would say.
Jaden Bogle's just been sent out to warm up with Junior Firpo down injured. Just at what stage in these League Cup ties, bearing in mind that the sides are back in action, Leeds, remember, away at West Brom on Saturday live on Talksport 2. What stage do the managers look, I want to win this game, I'm going to bring some of the big hitters off the bench to try and do it. It's a very difficult balance to try and get right.
Yeah, because you're still trying to manage fitness. You know, at this time of year, you want to get players fit. Daniel Farke will be thinking, yes, I want to win this game, but West Brom is far more important. Because suddenly after 2 games you've got 2 points. Even then, even at that stage, you're starting to think, it's not a great start. What if we lose the next one? You end up with 2 points after 3 games. Those sort of things start to come into your mindset as a manager and as a player. So I don't think Daniel Farke will change this much at all.
Yeah, the first 5 games for Leeds. Portsmouth at home last weekend, which they drew. Could have lost, should have won. Then West Brom away, then Sheffield Wednesday away, then another relatively local derby, and all Yorkshire clash against Hull, and then Burnley come here. I mean, it's quite a baptism of fire, that
it's a tough opening 5 games. It's what I talk about, Jim. You know, if suddenly you're not up there or challenging, you know, after 5 or 6 games, pressure will mount very quickly.
Firpo's back on his feet, but not back on the field. The corner is taken. Clark heading it into the fray. As it was half clear, comes back out towards Barlaser. Clark again, left-footed driven ball in, not the best, it wasn't high enough to be effective. Howson almost able to make something of it. Leeds again will clear through Ampadu, and then Engel heads it down for Dan Barlaser once more. Firpo still waiting the 30 seconds to finish before he can come back on.
It was a good batten from Clark, wasn't it? I think he was looking to whip it in at head height, got it completely wrong, but it almost came off and fell to Barlaser.
Bergsall trying to hold it up. Clear back out towards Barlaser once more. 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're in them now. Gilbert with quick feet. Trying a little reverse, boys. Release Bergsall. The angle was tight. And Leeds very quickly got Gelhardt back goal side of him. Engel makes a run on the overlap for Bergsall. He's come back the other way instead. Now played forward by Barlaser. Gilbert with the shot. And he's dragged it wide. Leeds were convinced he was offside. But his shot on the turn goes wide of Darlow's far post. And out of play for a goal kick. 0-0 in first half stoppage time here at Ellen Road.
He's definitely onside. There are a couple of other players that were in offside positions, but it wasn't him. He had far more time and space than he thought. As he got that ball, he took it on his left foot, opened his body up. There was a couple of Borough players around him. Maybe that just caught his eye line, and he thought, I've got to get a shot away. Maybe I'm under a bit of pressure. He could have easily had another touch and gone on. And in the end, snapshot well wide.
He scored a goal at Cardiff back in late April, Alex Gilbert's the only one that he's scored in his senior career so far. Might have come closer there. We're in the second minute of the 4 added on. It's 0-0. Sam Byron plays it back inside his own half for Roden, and Roden goes back for Darlow. Darlow hoping for his first ever Leeds clean sheet tonight. Now Verba. Played forward. It's the travelling Middlesbrough supporters, about 4,000 strong, you can hear. Bamford's offside here. He's got round the goalkeeper now as he turns, trying to hit the ball into the unguarded net from a tight angle. He sees the flag is up. And it's a free kick to Middlesbrough just outside their own box.
To be fair, the flag did go up very, very early. And by the looks of it, quick replay that we have probably looks like the right decision.
Very close call, but I agree with you. I think a correct one from Paul Hodgkinson running the line on this near touch line.
And it's amazing, isn't it? Linesmen that don't have VAR more often than not get the decision right.
It has to be said that the quality of running of the line in terms of those offside calls is extraordinary.
It's one of the hardest things. I think I could be a referee and I could understand, you know, the bits and pieces and, you know, a little bit of learn about the laws. I'd be okay at running the line and getting those decisions correct, where you need to split your vision and obviously have one eye on where the ball's coming from, another eye on the player, is one of the hardest things ever. I understand that now I've stopped playing. I clearly didn't at the time.
Yeah, you did used to criticise them, didn't you? But
once or twice. when it was deserved.
Yeah, not every assistant referee could be Marty Feldman. I don't know how they do. That's a cultural reference for you, by the way.
Honestly,
ask your grandfather.
It is one of the hardest jobs, and fair play to them. The majority of them, they get them bang on, even the very, very tight ones.
Yeah, and there was only inches in that one. I'm convinced, having seen the replay, that he got it right. I wasn't the first time of asking, but the accuracy is something to behold. Ball played forward, and that is a foul to give Middlesbrough a free kick, 20 yards outside the penalty area, and Junior Firpo is booked. So that's both Leeds fullbacks now cautioned, as he knew the danger of letting the ball get past him and a little bit of space for Jones to run into. He couldn't do anything about the ball, but he made sure that Jones couldn't stay on his feet. So a free kick to Middlesbrough right at the end of the first half here.
Just needs a good delivery. Again, we'll see what they've worked on the training ground. You know, this could be a delivery to the far post, someone round the back post, head it back across goal, and then hope someone gets on the end of it.
Everybody from Leeds back behind the ball. One in the wall, which I think is Rothwell. An opportunity for Dan Barlasser to deliver, right-footed, over his head, over the head of nearly everybody except for goalkeeper Darlow, who comes out to catch it, and that's the last action of the first half. That's had moments of being easy on the eye. It was a breathtakingly quick start with both Leeds and Middlesbrough taking the game to each other. Leeds having the majority of possession, but for all of the ball that they've had, this much changed side hasn't really been able to create too many opportunities. We get through to half-time. It's still Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Well, I really enjoyed that first half. I've just got to ask you about that free kick at the end from Dan Barlasser, right? He's just chipped the ball into the keeper's arms. Now, he's been a professional footballer for a long time. Before he was a professional, he played football very, very well for a long time. He's kicked balls better than that. How on earth? I mean, that's a chance right at the end of the half, and it's a back pass to the goalie.
He's trying to get a bit more bend on it to get it over that defence and then get it dropping, because then as a defender, you're facing your own goal, and you're sort of having to stoop for a header. You can get all sorts of problems when that happens, and he hasn't quite got enough bend on it. He's got it a little bit wrong. I mean, it's the same sort of attitude when you watch golfers and you're thinking, these guys are pros. When you watch them in training and they're doing all sorts with a golf ball, and then they step on the first tee and they shank one out of bounds. You're going, how does that happen?
I know, with that one, I have a high forgiveness threshold, because footballers have got other footballers trying to stop them, but there, he's got a free chance.
Yeah, because it's a...
Do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world.
No.
It's not the biggest incident in the first half. I'm just puzzled by it.
I get it, and often the shout from the fans, or what do you do all day?
Yeah. What do you do all week? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of what you're asking.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes there is, and I have this, sometimes players are trying to whip the ball in so quickly, with so much pace, so much power, it's easier to get wrong. Yeah. Sometimes, just like I said, just feel it towards the far post. No one was really going to score from a direct header because the angle was a bit odd. So do something a little bit different. Maybe float one up to the far post for somebody to head it back across goal, and then go from there.
Borough, though, are playing well. I mean, you're talking about the switch of play that they're doing. And listen, it's not their first 11, we appreciate that, but this is how Michael Carrick wants them to play. And it's good to watch.
Sometimes, why play two passes when you can play one? The ball moves a lot quicker than players do. So therefore, if you can miss out a player and you can drive the ball 40, 50 yards and you can take 2 or 3 players out of the game, why would you not do that? We've all been sucked into, you've got to play to the nearest player and then the next nearest. And of course, that takes time. And as a defender, the more time it takes, the better, because you can shuffle across and you can get in position. Those switches of play that they've done, they've caused mayhem. Because all of a sudden, you've got one-on-ones, or you've got, 2-on-1s, people being outnumbered, and if someone picks it up and then starts to run at you, then there's a defender on the back foot. I like it. I think Borough, okay, they've lacked a little bit of quality at times, but the style of play, I like the fact that it's not route one. They're not just getting the ball and humping it downfield. They're trying to play, decent diagonal balls out to wide players.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see more of Bergsorg, because at Huddersfield he didn't look a great player. Nothing really special. He wasn't a bad player at all, but I'm watching him in this game and thinking, actually, there might be something a bit special. Michael Carrick might get something out of him. As far as Leeds are concerned, you mentioned it before, that they're not really creating anything clear-cut. And sometimes they get themselves into decent positions good with the ball at their feet, but they'll take one too many touches. They won't lay it off when they should.
And that could be because it's early season. That could be because it's a second string and they haven't really played together too much. But you're right, they get in the final third and then it's a little bit like, now what we're going to do?
Yeah.
There doesn't really seem a clear plan. And then, as I said, there may well be reasons for that. But if they're going to win this game, they need to improve on that.
I want to go back to an incident halfway through the first half. It was over on the far side when Firpo pushed Jones, okay, and nothing was given. And I put push in inverted commas. I wrote this down. This is important. I don't want to be a football law bore, ever, okay, but I am going to refer to this because I think this is interesting as the season goes on. So basically what happened was Firpo had his hand on the back of Jones. I wondered if there was any force in it. Jones collapsed to the floor. And the referee thought that he'd made a meal of it and didn't give a free kick, gave the corner. So we're being given guidance by the football authorities this season that there will be a high threshold. Not all contact is a foul, they're saying. Overriding principle is to protect players, as it should be. The preference is not to penalise. That's the key. Preference is not to penalise. So the question we need to ask is, what's the motivation of the player committing the act? So when I looked at it, I watched it closely and watched replays of it. I thought Firpo simply put his hand on the back and Jones collapsed far too easily. So I made the referee right in that incident. And as you said, a couple of minutes later, there was an incident where it was similar. There was a hand on the back, player goes down, free kick's given. In that incident, there were two players who were chopping around at the feet of the player with the ball. So I kind of understood why the free kick was given in that incident and not in the first incident. But I'm glad there's a higher threshold.
Yeah, definitely. And as long as there's consistency, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You know, that was... If you're not going to give the first one, then for me, probably don't give the second one, whether there's two players around it or not. What I would argue with is the first one is, once the defender turns and starts on his run back to chase the ball, he's already... You know, he's in a crouch position already. If I give you a nudge while you're in that position on your back, it doesn't take a lot to go down. You know, it's easy. As you know, if you're bending over to your shoelace up and I give you a little nudge, you're going flat on your face.
But we've seen so many players who will wait for a touch on the back and then collapse to the floor. I'm glad that they're not always getting those free kicks.
Yeah, definitely. As long as they're consistent across the board, and I think we saw that in the Euros. You know, a higher threshold to get a foul. It makes for a much better game.
Yeah, I agree with that. 0-0. I think it is a decent game despite the lack of goals so far. What's the story in the first half of the Super Cup? Kev Hatchards.
Half-time, it is Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0. Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid faded after a fast start as Atalanta slowly took control. Atalanta's midfielder and captain Martin de Roon saw a cross deflect off the head of Real defender Eder Militao and the ball looped onto the crossbar, and then after a panicky clearance from Aurelien Tchouameni, Ederson curled wide. But against the run of play late in the half, Real's Rodrigo rattled the Atalanta crossbar from 12 yards with keeper Juan Musso well beaten. It's up for grabs. Real Madrid 0, Atalanta 0.
In the Carabao Cup first round tonight, Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2, second half getting underway. Plymouth 0, Cheltenham 0. That's Championship Plymouth against League 2 Cheltenham. Goalless there. The goals as they go in from the second halves of those that are just getting underway. And here at Ellen Road, it's half-time. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 0, live on Talksport.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And summer is flying by, so don't miss out. Right now, you can save up to £120 per couple. And we'll be with you every step of the way with award-winning VIP customer service. Book now, direct from Birmingham Airport. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. Up to national protected. Subject to availability and conditions.
Have your brother-in-law for his birthday. He likes swimming, but is it weird to buy your sister's husband a pair of trunks? Yes, it definitely is. What about a scratch card from the National Lottery? They help fund athletes from Team GB and Paralympics GB. That way you can make a big splash without diving into any family drama. The National Lottery. Best gift ever. Subject to availability. Please gift responsibly and remember, you need to be 18 or over to buy, gift and play. Even though it's a gift, rules and procedures apply.
That's not simple. That's not simple. Now that's simple. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
When someone you love dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead.
You have no idea what hell awaits you.
And sometimes something so bad happens
Please don't do that!
that the soul cannot rest.
I'm gonna kill every single one of them.
The Crow, in cinemas August 23. Book tickets now. Certificate 18.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
The ultimate battle for bragging rights is back. Fantasy 11 on Talksport with Dream Team from the Sun.
It is game on.
Listen throughout the day all this week to find out which superstars make stellar squad.
Brilliant first touch.
Who's on Brazil's backline.
That was outstanding.
And who's getting the goals in for Goldstein.
Blasted into the corner of the net.
Pick your winning Dream Team lineup and you could be in with a chance of winning 50 grand.
Outrageous.
Fantasy 11 on Talksport with Dream Team from the Sun. Sign up now at dreamteamfc.com.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile and on your smart speaker. Talksport.
0-0 at half-time, so let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Yeah, Talksport live at Ellen Road where it still Leeds nil, Middlesbrough nil. Leeds are 11-10 on to win in the 90 minutes. Borough 4-1. The draw in normal time is 19-10. Joel Peru to score any time was 9-4, and that's now been price boosted. Joel Peru 5-2 to score any time. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
And remember, if it's level at 90, we go straight to penalties. That's the excitement and drama of the first round of the Carabao Cup, which we love here on Talksport. And there's two more ties ongoing in the second half. Goals galore at the MKM in the first half. What about the second 45? Talksport's Jeff Peters.
It's Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. No further goals since that early flurry of 3 in the opening 10 minutes. 2 goals for Charlie McNeil on debut, the former Manchester United youngster, 25 seconds in with a crisp finish. Probably his first touch, because it was Hull who kicked off in this game, then gave the ball away in the left-back position. Marvin Malem, summer signing for Hull, he levelled soon after, but within a minute, more horrendous defending for the home side. Giles with the back pass, and then Rachopi, the goalkeeper, just let the ball run past him, and a simple tap-in for McNeil, who could have had a hat-trick actually just before the break. Rachopi did redeem himself slightly, making a fine save, and Malem nearly got a second himself for Hull, but that was cleared off the line by a Hickway. Some game this in front of just over 9,000. Early stages of the second half, it's Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Let's go down to Devon. What's happening at Home Park? Ian Danta.
Plymouth Argyle 0, Cheltenham Town 0. We've played an hour here, and Plymouth have a free kick about 25 yards out that Adam Randall's just lining up. Best chance of the second half definitely went to Cheltenham Town. Randall hits this free kick, and it's tucked onto the bar by Day and touched it on the follow-up. And Plymouth finally hit the front. It's Ben Waine, the New Zealander, who's tucked the ball into the back of the net. Randall's free kick was destined for the postage stamp, touched onto the bar by Joe Day, but it dropped invitingly in front of goal. And Wayne has scored to help out Wayne. Wayne Rooney will be happy with that. It is Plymouth 1, Cheltenham 0.
Kiwi bearing fruits. I've got to say, if you have a look at the social media posts of Plymouth Argyle, the official ones, and some of the replies, truly painful tonight, and maybe that Wayne goal will ease the pressure just a little bit for Wayne Rooney after 1.5 games. Danny Mills, quick one on that. Your Wayne Rooney, You don't need to take a job, but you do. You should be admired for that. And yet, first game they get battered 4-0. He's going to be under more scrutiny than most, isn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. But he knows that. He knows the name Wayne Rooney comes with an awful lot of expectation, an awful lot of pressure. I don't think he'll be bothered by that. I think he'll be most disappointed, like he said, in his team. He's of that era of the likes of Roy Keane. Expect high standards, from his team. Even if you're going to make mistakes, there are certain things he cannot forgive, and he clearly said that after the defeat at the weekend.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, though. I mean, what can you achieve at Plymouth when we've seen, Ryan Lowe's just held up his hands after the first game of the season and said, I can't really do anything more at Preston, so they're going to be changing manager. He's left that position. He's himself a former Plymouth manager. When they're bottom half of the Championship and the budget is what it is, and they're up against much bigger budgets in that division, what exactly can Wayne Rooney achieve there?
Well, I think so. You're obviously talking to the owners, when you get the job, and say, right, as you've just said, what are our expectations? 14th, 15th, something like that. You go, right, okay, our expectations are 14th or 15th. I'm going to get us in the top 10. I can improve these players and I can make this team. So we are going to be 5 or 6 places above where you expect, and I believe I can do that as a manager. And that's your test. You're not expected to win the league. So he will go in there thinking, right, okay, I'm going to get ourselves top 10, top 8. That would be an amazing finish for them. And that's what he will go with the mindset of.
Yeah. I guess that would be seen as something special. Middlesbrough players are on their way out, doing a little warm-up before the start of the second half. I think we can go to Hull at the MKM. Is that another goal for Jeff Peters?
It's not, but Hull City are certainly not happy because they've got the ball in the back of the net. They thought that they'd equalise. The goalkeeper dropped the ball. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it whatsoever. But Hull are certainly angry that they're not on level terms. It's Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Well, that's controversial. Leeds are back out here. Michael Carrick walking along the touchline towards the dugout. And as Danny Mills said in the first half, he's just unmoved on that touchline. He's arms folded, standing in the technical area, ready for the second half to get underway. It is Leeds United 0, Middlesbrough 0. Carabao Cup first round. If it's level after 90, goes straight to pens. Here's the second half, live on Talksport with League Cup winner Danny Mills alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
And there are no further changes. Leeds in all white, Middlesbrough in all red, lining up like this. Leeds, Darlow in goal, Byron, Roden, Verber and Firpo, Ampadu and Rothwell, Gelhardt, Peru and Aronson and Bamford. Middlesbrough, Bryn in goal, Dijksdale, Howson, Clark and Engel, Balassa and Morris, Jones, Gilbert, Bergzorg and Coburn. So we're back underway. Elsewhere, Sheffield Wednesday leading at Hull, Plymouth leading at home to Cheltenham. There's one goal in those two, nothing between these two. Mike having fallen now in West Yorkshire, Middlesbrough in possession, defending the Don Revie stand away to our left-hand side. Revie himself, a son of Middlesbrough. Here's Gilbert, bring the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area for the Borough. And it's just knocked away by Verber, but only as far as Jones. Good ball from Jones. Dijksdale crossed the 6-yard box, and a sliding challenge puts it away. Danny Mills, good start for the second half of Middlesbrough.
Yeah, really good start. Again, down this right-hand side, looking to shift the ball out, miss players out. Dijksdale gets in, tries to drive it across the face of goal, and it gets cut out.
Beach ball just being thrown around in the Middlesbrough end away to our right. They brought 4,000 down from Teesside for this game. Leeds able to bring the ball forward with Aronson. Aronson running into traffic. It's come off Morris, but a throw's been given Middlesbrough's way. Aronson said that he didn't touch him on the way out. The throw has been given to Middlesbrough. Taken by Dijksdale back to Howson.
I think Michael Carrick's half-time team talk would have been to the players and said, look, there's maybe not as much fear out there as you thought. Maybe you've given them a little bit too much respect at times. You've sat off them a little bit. Perhaps, with the second string that they've got, they're not as good as maybe you thought they are. So go and have a go. Let's be a little bit more on the front foot. Let's try and get at them.
Clark finds Howson, who's playing at centre half for Middlesbrough against his old club tonight. Now Gilbert, right-footed ball clipped forward from him. Coburn chasing after it, headed away by Verber. And out for a throw, which will be taken on the Middlesbrough right-hand side on halfway. In terms of the stats, in terms of possession, first half 63-37 in Leeds' favour. Had the one big chance that the game created, but it wasn't taken. Neither goalkeepers really had anything to do of note at all. Balassa wins a free kick here, midway inside his own half. Morris will come forward to take it, and then don't watch the eyes, he slips one down the left-hand side for Bergsorg when he was looking at Gilbert. And Middlesbrough receive that, work it back, and then Clark goes long, trying to turn the Leeds back line. He succeeded. Coburn trying to run at Byram. Byram able to briskly knock it back for his goalkeeper. Darlow with plenty of time to control that. And he'll play outside the penalty area for Verba, who finds Firpo. Both of the Leeds fullbacks booked in the first half. The only two players to have been cautioned so far. Brink comes out of his penalty area and clears. Coming to meet it, Verba with a commanding header, but second ball won easily by Howson, and the home crowd a little bit frustrated by that. It was all too easy, Peru not putting Howson under a great degree of pressure at all. And Middlesbrough have it back. Bamford now pressing from the front, putting the pressure on the goalkeeper. Clark, fall from him to Barlassa. Down on the left-hand touchline, Middlesbrough will play it forward with Engel. Much more possession at the start of the second half for Borough, but like Leeds in the first half, not really done too much with it so far.
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand football, or footballers, to be honest. It's like two of you go closing down, you put people under pressure, and no one else reacts. If one goes, you all have to go. If not, you beat the press. Simple as that. It's so obvious at times. You're thinking, well, two of you have gone in. Surely, as for instance, Gelhardt on the right-hand side, once he sees that ball start to move across the back foot, he's got to be on his bike. So the moment the left back gets the ball, he's on his touch immediately.
So just for clarity, this might be a daft question. That's the fault of the individual players. That's nothing to do with coaching. That's the fault of the individuals just not reading the situation.
Players have to recognise that situation and think, right, OK, one's gone to press, two's gone to press. And you have to be, match game awareness. There's a big switch now. That ball's travelled 70 yards. Firpo has got to be on it. As soon as he has that touch, he's got to be on it. It's travelled 70 yards. It's 3 or 4 seconds that he's got.
That was Clark that played it forward. He was able to find Jones. Dijkstale's got it now and scores. And it was all because of that lack of awareness from Firpo. Middlesbrough bringing it forward quickly. Anthony Dijkstale onto his left foot, plenty of time, and he slotted one into the bottom left-hand corner. He's never scored for Middlesbrough before tonight in more than 130 games for the club, but he provides a breakthrough. It's Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Oh, it's a fantastic goal. The defending is absolutely abysmal. From start to finish, it is terrible. He's allowed to run inside. I think it's Harrison lets him come. Firpo doesn't go anywhere near him. Joe Roden waves him through. And it's like the parting of the Red Sea. He just keeps going. And it's a really nice little tidy finish into the far corner. But you're right, Jim, it all comes about because Firpo isn't aware, isn't quite at it. Ball travels 70 yards and he allows his attacker to bring the ball down, have 2 or 3 touches under no pressure whatsoever. The moment he has that touch, he should be on him, right up against him, trying to nick the ball off him. Basics.
So Middlesbrough fans, who had Dijkstale with his wrong foot in the sweep for the first goal tonight? Firpo playing it back for Verba. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 1. So early in the season, but just a modicum of a little bit of pressure here. And bearing in mind that Leeds ended the last home campaign poorly, found themselves losing in stoppage time at the weekend before a late equaliser, and now behind again here tonight. It could get worse. Jones for Dijkstale, pegged back, right-footed shot is blocked, and then Bergsorg, having seen the initial effort save, slices the rebound wide. Could have been 2.
How has that not gone in? Again, it's Verba getting himself into all sorts of bother in the left-back position. Again, it's just a simple ball in behind, players not tracking runners. I think it's a great save from Darlow, actually. It might even take the slightest of deflections, and he manages to get sort of like a thigh and arm on it. whatever it is, he manages to keep out the first one. Bosa's not able to put away the second one, but great start from Borough in the second half.
Much the better side since the resumption. First half pretty level. Leeds, if anything, the more likely to get the glowing recommendations. Second half, all Middlesbrough, and they lead 1-0 with Anthony Dijksdale's goal a couple of minutes ago. We've played 52 here on Talksport,
and all the noise is coming from that 4,000 Borough fans down to the right hand side. The Leeds crowd has gone absolutely silent.
Excellent goal as well from the long switch of play all the way through. A little nutmeg from Dijksdale, slotting the ball via the hand of Darlow into the bottom left-hand corner with his left foot. Just the second senior goal of his career. His only other one for Charlton against Scunthorpe 5 years ago.
But Jim, we talked about that at half-time. We talked about during the first half. That switch of play that was on all day long was very, very effective. If we can see it from up here, why can't either the Leeds coaching staff play it, or more importantly, why can't the Leeds players see it?
Leeds look long over the top. Clark probably will get there first ahead of Bamford, though. He's made a meal of it. He's got it out of harm's way on the edge of his own penalty area. And with Gelhardt coming to put the pressure on, Clark's gone down. And the referee's assistant on the far touchline says there was a foul. Free kick to Middlesbrough, who lead 1-0.
Yeah, I think there was a little nudge from Bamford that sort of just put him off balance. And as he was going down, Gelhardt made sure. So he sort of fell on top of him.
Well, substitutes from both sides warming up now away to our left-hand side. Leeds with attacking cavalry to bring on. Matteo Joseph's had a wonderful pre-season campaign. He made his full league debut for the club on Saturday. Ruta, Nonto and Dan James, all players that can be called upon if necessary.
Looks like Borough are going to make the first change, though. A couple of players just been called back.
Yeah, I wonder if George McCormick actually might see the light of day in a moment. Middlesbrough will bring the ball forward here with Howson. Whether Howson is labouring. He's just signalled over to the bench and has put his left hand down to his hamstring and now will go down. So that's possibly why McCormick was warming up. 19-year-old Borough-born centre-half who's yet to make his senior debut for the club. And Howson is down and his race might be run.
Yeah, it could be a big blow, that. I think he's played very well this evening, very accomplished. Hasn't looked out of place at all. It's not probably his favoured position. His positional sense has been very, very good. He's used the ball very, very effectively. Yeah, and obviously his leadership will be very, very missed if he comes off.
10 minutes into the second half, Middlesbrough leading whilst Howson is receiving treatment and being replaced because they are going to make the change. Let's get the details from elsewhere. First to the MKM, Jeff Peters.
Sheffield Wednesday still leading Hull by 2-1. Hull furious that they've had a goal disallowed. Didn't look like a foul on the goalkeeper. No hat-trick for Charlie McNeil. He's been subbed off. Great game. Hull 1, Wednesday 2.
Luke Ayling is the Middlesbrough player who's going to be coming on to Home Park. Ian Danter.
It is still Plymouth 1, Cheltenham 0 with 15 minutes to go. That goal from Ben Waine tucking home from close range after a free kick from Randall hit the angle of post and bar. And all three subs for Plymouth have come on. Sissoko, Whittaker and Bundu all have had chances to extend the lead but have failed to do so. So Cheltenham still in this. Plymouth 1, Cheltenham 0.
Super Cup details in a moment, but let's hear the ovation for Luke Ayling as he comes on. Really get the chance to say goodbye here at Leeds. And he gets the captain's armband from Howson. So one man who's played for both clubs replaced by another. And that ovation for Ayling is from the opposition supporters. That is the high regard with which he is held in these parts. So Luke Ayling on for Howson. Now they're just asking for a little bit of clarification, the Borough players, as to exactly how they're going to line up now. Is Ayling going to drop in at centre-half into effectively Howson's position? Looks that way at the moment. Play restarts. Firpo and Bamford Sporting restoring possession to Middlesbrough, who put the ball out of play so that Howson could receive the treatment. Deadlock broken here 3 or 4 minutes ago. It's now been broken in Warsaw as well. Kev Hajar.
It's Real Madrid 1, Atalanta 0. Jude Bellingham started the move, found Vinicius Junior on the left of the penalty area. He got to the byline, played the ball across. There was Fede Valverde to tap in. Real Madrid 1, Atalanta 0.
So Valverde giving Real Madrid the lead. And if they hold on there and extend their unbeaten record to 27, just one defeat in 50, 5-0 at the end of the night if they win the Super Cup this evening. And they're leading by a goal to nil. Middlesbrough leading by the same scoreline here, courtesy of Dijkstra. Verba plays it back to his goalkeeper. Darlow in all light blue, hits it forward, right-footed, over the halfway line. Going up for it, Lucas Engel, very solid player, the Borough left back. Able to flick the ball down on the far touchline. Middlesbrough doing really well to retain possession. That's excellent ball retention from Morris. And then played forward from the back, but given away. Leeds getting their foot on it quickly with Rothwell. Back it goes for Verba. The Leeds fans feel that there's a need for greater urgency here.
Yeah, I think their senior players so far this evening haven't really stepped up, have they? Certainly not in this second half so far. Need more from the likes of Ampadu, from Firpo, from Bamford.
Dijkstra with the long switch. Bergzorg's going to chase after it and can't keep it in over on the far touchline. It's a goal kick. We talked about possession. First half, 63% to Leeds. Second half, 67% to Middlesbrough, who've had 3 shots without reply. I mean, they're thoroughly deserving the advantage now.
But it's still that switch of play that's been very, very dangerous for Borough, isn't it? I mean, it sounds a little bit old school, you know, but it's effective. It works. It's a really good pass. It's only a 40, 50-yard pass.
Excellent ball forward from Ampadu. Bamford chasing after it. His former teammate Ayling beat him to it. Gilbert comes back, and his touch has actually caused problems for Borough because it's gone straight to Junior Firpo. And trying to play it back to Ayling on the edge of the penalty area. Leeds get it forward again. Here's Peru. Joe Gelhardt on the right. Clipped in by Joffe and cleared by Ayling,
who's now getting booed every time he touches it after that incredible ovation.
And you'd expect nothing else.
Football fans are fickle, aren't they?
Absolutely, but isn't it perfect? It is exactly what you'd want. It's what he would want.
Yeah, of course it is. Booed out of respect, I think it is.
There's only one thing worse than being talked about, Danny.
Exactly, being ignored.
Here's Aronson coming off the left-hand touchline, playing it back for Verba. Verba inside the centre circle to Leeds' new number 6, Roden, a number that Liam Cooper's had for years. Back he goes towards Ampadu. Roden's got it again. We've played an hour. Leeds half an hour away from going out of the first round stage for the first time since Doncaster beat them on penalties back in 2015. Could get worse. Coburn playing in. Bergzorg. Chance to make it 2. Edge of the area. Right-footed bar deflection. It is in. A horrible second half for Leeds United. Middlesbrough scored twice in 8 minutes. Delano Bergzorg's first goal for the club. It's Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Fantastic breakaway and a really good finish in the end. I thought maybe he dwelled slightly too long on it, but he didn't. He kept his composure, Bergzorg. He waited and then he went for the corner. Slight deflection. I don't think it made any difference. I don't think the goalkeeper would have got it anyhow. But again, it's that diagonal ball. Splits the defence. He comes inside on his right foot. Slight deflection off Joe Roden. But a really good breakaway and a good finish. Yeah, it's a deflection, but it doesn't change the angle of the ball. It just makes it go downwards into the floor a little bit, but the goalkeeper wouldn't have got it anyhow.
But it was some pass from Coburn. Just dropped deep into the midfield, turn, and hit a ball in behind Ampadu. And defensively, it was another horror show from Leeds.
It's basics, Jim. I was always taught from like a 12-year-old growing up. Straight run, angled ball. And that's all it was. That's all you need at times. He played the angled ball in behind, which means you can make a straight run onto it, and he's clearing on goal. I think Leeds are now going to make a centuple substitution, is it? Is that
the lesser spotted quintuple substitution.
Quintuple, that's the one.
I mean, a centuple, they might fancy bringing 100 on if they could, but they're going to have to make do with the 5. It's 2-0 to Middlesbrough with 62 gone. Goal at Plymouth, Ian Danter.
Plymouth Argyle 2, Cheltenham 0. That's them through to round 2, the Pilgrims. And it's Ryan Hardy tucking the ball home from close range after lovely work down the left by Ibrahim Sissoko, the substitute. 31 efforts on goal from Plymouth tonight, much better than Sunday. They lead by 2-0.
Now Middlesbrough on the counter from inside their own half, playing forward for Jones. Jones to seal it, heavy touch. And the goalkeeper then came out, narrowed the angle, and the shot past him goes wide. That would have wrapped it up.
Should have been 3. It's a great opportunity. It just looked a little bit uneasy as at what he was going to do. His first touch takes him a fraction wide, and then because he's going wide, he's not quite sure how to finish it. He goes for a little dink in the end, but gets the angle all wrong. Hits the side netting by a distance.
So here comes the cavalry, and we're going to see Bogle, Strauch, Ruta, Nonto and Gruev, not Matteo Joseph at this stage.
Would you say that's hitting the panic button, Jim?
A little. I mean, 5 in one go is unorthodox.
Yes, that's changing half your outfield team. That's a lot of changes to make.
And we'll wrap them up for you in a moment. Another goal at Plymouth, O'Dance.
Plymouth 3, Cheltenham 0. They're definitely through now. Mustafa Bundu, another substitute, getting in on the act, cracking the ball home from the edge of the area into the bottom corner. Lovely finish. Plymouth 3, Cheltenham 0.
3-0 there. Well, you obviously feel that it's hitting the panic button.
Well, they didn't win at the weekend here. We're pegged back in a game that they should have won, could have lost. You're now 2-0 down in a home game you're expected to win. And then you're facing West Brom. So suddenly you're going, at the moment, draw, loss, difficult game away from home. 5 subs in one go. I think when the goalkeeper's down half injured, I think is a huge panic.
Well, so they made the 5 changes whilst Darlow is receiving treatment. They clearly feel that he's going to be in a position he can continue.
It was a head injury, isn't it?
So from that point of view, then they can make a concussion change if they want to. So Melier would be in a position to come on if it is concussion for Carl Darlow, but he's still receiving treatment just outside the penalty area. Borough will look at that as a real missed opportunity. They're poised to make a double change of their own, incidentally, with Finn Azaz, the £2 million signing from Aston Villa last season. He's going to be coming on, and George McCormick will be on for his Borough debut as well. There's another goal, this one in the Super Cup. Kevin Hadjar.
Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0. Kylian Mbappe has marked his Real Madrid debut with a goal. A great cutback from Jude Bellingham, and Mbappe smashed the ball into the top corner. Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0.
So 2-0 there midway through the second half. It's 2-0 to Middlesbrough here midway through the second half. Let's wrap up those Leeds changes then. Ruta for Aronson, Nonto for Gelhardt, Strauch for Verba, Gruev for Byram, and Bogle for Firpo. So half the outfield side changed with about 25 minutes to go.
I mean, it's a massive gamble, that, isn't it? You know, you've now got to change the whole way. Are they all ready? Are they all warmed up properly? I would suggest not, because there's no way all 5 of them thought they were coming on. Maybe a couple of the forward players at 1-0 down. I think it just goes to show that, Farker realises he's under a bit of pressure already.
Leeds 2 down at home, having almost been beaten here at the weekend. Here's Jones for Middlesbrough. Could be 3. It is. It's Coburn. Straight from the restart. Borough score again. Jones with the initial effort. Saved by Darlow, but only parried into the path of Josh Coburn. And midway through the second half, Leeds United are being torn apart. 3-0 down at home.
Daniel Farker went and sat straight down in the dugout. I think he's trying to avoid anything that might be coming his way from the fans. I mean, It's far too easy. It's a simple header. No one gets a tackling. Nobody gets close. No one defends properly. Bogle doesn't react, who's just come on. I mean, it'd be harsh on schoolboys to say it's schoolboy defending. That is absolutely shocking from Leeds. That is really, really poor.
Well, they played round the side of Strauch, who's just come on. Gruev couldn't follow his runner. And then Bogle switched off and allowed Coburn to come in. So that's 3 of the 5 that have just come on. I told you, played a part in that.
I told you, they're not ready. You know, you make 5s. Normally, you know, you need a good 5-10 minute warm-up. You know, to get your heart rate up and get your blood flow and everything else, and to be sharp. The goal went in and he went, right, 5 subs instantly.
And Middlesbrough hungry for more. Come again. Dijksdale, who started it all off. Back towards Jones. Jones trying almost a back-heel Cruyff, but Strauch's able to get the ball away down by the corner flag. And then Ayling is in there battling for Middlesbrough. And Leeds will be able to bring it forward. Ruta might just have been clipped by his own man Nonto there as part of that, but I think Luke Ayling is the player that is going to be booked. Knew exactly what he was doing. He initiated the contact, and Luke Ayling stopping the counter-attack from Ruta is in the book.
I can only giggle, to be honest, because I could see that coming from about 15 yards away. Luke Ayling was never going to catch Nonto, especially, and he knew the same thing. So when there was an opportunity, he clipped one's ankles, and that took somebody else out. He knew exactly what he was doing. Fair play. Don't think that's going to get the fans on his side, though.
Rothwell taking the free kick for Leeds, who are in desperate need of something here. Left-footed effort, good save by Bryn. Well struck by Peru. It might just have crept in the bottom right-hand corner, and diving to his left-hand side, Bryn with a smart stop. Keeps his clean sheet intact and keeps it at 3. In fact, it was blocked by Clark right in front of the goalkeeper, who did well. Middlesbrough to make a double change. Gilbert is coming off, and Bergsorg, the score of the second goal, will come off as well. And Finazaz and George McCormick are coming off.
I think they've got that wrong. I don't think Gilbert is coming off. I think he's come to talk to Michael Carrick. No, he's going back on. Well done, fourth official.
It's Engel, in fact, that is coming off. You very politely actually blame the fourth official there. I think it might have been your commentator that got that.
Oh, no chance. Not a chance.
No.
Any excuse, Jim, to have a go at the officials, I'm in.
No, that might have been me. McCormick is on, and Azaz is coming on as well.
What a position for Borough, though. You know, for Michael Carrick's better, you know, give some more players some game time with, 20 minutes or so to go. 3-0 up. I don't think you're ever imagining that coming here this evening.
Well, it's a great moment for George McCormick, playing for his hometown club for the very first time at the age of 19.
The problem you've also got, Jim, with making those 5 substitutions, if it doesn't work, where does that leave you, in effect?
Well, it doesn't leave you in the draw for the second round. That's where it leaves you. Ayling battling here with Bamford. Dijksdale plays the ball forward. Strout winning it back. Nice little nutmeg and Morris, and then play forward by Gruev. Nonto towards the edge of the penalty area. Checking, getting the better of Gilbert, beats him again, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Nobody there initially. Then he's clipped in, left-footed, heads go up, Clark heads it away. Gruev with a little cushion header. Middlesbrough win that. Vital that Ampadu then got a touch. McCormick can clear. Middlesbrough trying to lead the counter-attack again. 3 against 3 just for a moment, although Leeds have got more bodies back now. And Rothwell takes control of the situation for them.
It's absolutely chaos out there at the moment. Neither team can really keep the ball. Lots of substitutions. Players haven't really settled down into where they're supposed to be playing at the moment.
Strout will play the ball forward. Middlesbrough scored 5 goals in the 2 league games against Leeds last season and didn't get a single point. 3 tonight is set to give them a big win, and they still look for more. Coburn from a tight angle. Oh, he nearly made it 4. It needed Darlow to get something on that. Fingers. And it stops it creeping in the far post and goes out of play actually for a throw right down by the corner flag. That reverse ball has been Leeds' kryptonite all night.
It's been far too easy for Borough to get in behind Leeds, in between defenders, down the sides of centre halves, round the outside of full-backs. Another example of that there. My concern would be, conceded 3 at the weekend, conceded 3 here. You ain't going to get away with that for long.
Middlesbrough bring it forward again. Dijksteel trying his luck again. Rising right-footed drive that just goes over the bar. And this could now be anything, because Leeds defensively have completely unravelled.
And then, you're looking, Rodon's got experience. Ampadu's got experience. This is where those senior players, Strout's got experience. Senior players should be saying, right, hang on, let's deal with this properly. Let's not be rash, let's not do stupid things, especially those players that have come on. So we need to make a difference now.
Well, defensively, you've explained it perfectly, the worries that they've got. If they don't score, it'll be the 6th time they failed to score in 10 games either side of the summer break. And I know they've made changes tonight, but so too have Middlesbrough.
Well, like you said at the beginning, Leeds made 8, Borough made 7. And you would, out of that, you would still say that Leeds had a stronger starting 11 on paper.
And most of those players, or a good proportion of those that were left out, certainly the outfield 7 that were left out are now on. So the side that they've got on the field now is only 2 changes from the team that played Middlesbrough at the weekend, that played Portsmouth at the weekend. Strout going back here for Rodon, who will send it wide out towards the Leeds United right. An opportunity to deliver. Bogle's cross is blocked. It's going to go out of play for a throw. Leeds' next 2 games live on Talksport 2, incidentally. West Brom this Sunday, 12:30, and Sheffield Wednesday coming up next Friday night. Here on the edge of the penalty area, Leeds will be able to bring it forward again. Rothwell with a shot. That one's blocked by Barlaser. This first month of the season could really hold the key to Leeds' entire campaign. And it's had an inauspicious start. They're caught offside here. It's a free kick that'll be taken level with the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area. 74 minutes gone. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 3. Here's Danny Mills.
And when you talk about, a difficult start that they've got, what the problem is, when Daniel Farke obviously talked about signings might become available towards the end of the window. Well, if you haven't had a good start and you've only got 2 or 3 points from your first few games, players are going to go, well, hang on a minute, I thought Leeds were going to be up there. Maybe they might now be struggling. Actually, I've got a better option and I might go somewhere else. That's another reason for getting your business done early.
Gruev's got it. Full-time details from Plymouth in a moment. They're safely through tonight. Here's Strout. Plays it back inside the centre circle for Gruev. And then Gruev goes out to Ampadu. Bogle coming in off the right flank. The £5 million signing from Sheffield United over the summer, whose last goal came at Old Trafford back in April. He's knocked it square to his left-hand side. Rothwell's been caught. Free kick to Leeds. That will give us an opportunity to get full-time details from Home Park. Ian Dante.
Plymouth 0, Plymouth 3, Cheltenham 0. Comfortable in the end for Argyle to see off the League 2 side. A goalless first half. Nerves just starting to build on the hour here when Randall's free kick touched onto the angle of post and bar. Dropped in front of goal for Ben Waine to touch it home. Ryan Hardy finished off a lovely sweeping move for 2-0. And then a clinical finish from Mustafa Bundu late on completed the scoring. 32 attempts by Plymouth tonight. Cheltenham had their moments. Did have a great chance at 0-0, but Jordan Thomas blazed wide early in the second half. Plymouth 3, Cheltenham 0.
Alex Gilbert's just been booked for Middlesbrough for that challenge which gave Leeds a free kick that they were working a little bit over elaborately. They now will get the ball forward, but it's too long for Bamford's run and easily picked up by Bryn. Are there any positives for Leeds tonight?
Not really, no. I'm trying to think, no. I'm sort of trying to rack my brain. First 2 minutes they started brightly, but after that didn't create enough. Like I said, there are reasons for that. A different team, it's early in the season, but defensively they've been absolutely shocking, and the players haven't learned. You can blame coaches and you can blame managers, but there's some senior players out there. You talk about some of the Welsh players with 50 odd caps or whatever it is each. You've got to be better than that as a player.
Ruta Ball is cut out by Jones for Middlesbrough. And then neat play in the midfield by Morris. Dyksdale going back to his goalkeeper. And Bryn taking a touch. Bamford leading the press. Peru will join in. Clark gets it away though. Play through the midfield for Aidan Morris again. Morris has got 5 yards to work with. Works it into the feet of Finn Azaz. The Olays are out from the travelling Smoggies away to our right. Gilbert now. Coburn making a good run, and in doing so has drawn 2 Leeds players out of position. Azaz might have been played in a relatively unmarked position, straight down the middle, but the ball still went out to the right for Coburn. Gilbert then gets caught, and it's a free kick to Middlesbrough on the right-hand touchline as they look for a fourth.
Yeah, so again, I don't understand why the referee doesn't give that as a booking. Some of the other bookings that he's pulled out. It's a late challenge. It catches him. Doesn't matter whether it's your first one or your 6th one. Yellow card should be a yellow card. But I'm just looking at the stats. Leeds, 1 shot on target the whole night. Not enough, is it? 2 shots off target. The rest have been blocked from that. Borough 15 shots in total. 7 on target, 7 off, and 1 blocked. Talk about possession stats. Borough have been the far more efficient.
George McCormick's had his first senior shot in a Middlesbrough shirt. Now from it, Leeds United will take a throw. Stroud arching the back, hurls it forward. Knocked on by Bamford. He's just given a little shove to Morris on his way through. He's a little ill-tempered at times in the midfield now. Ruter giving chase, but Bryn can easily play out towards Ayling. Ayling clipping it into the midfield. Coburn coming back to meet it. His performance has been good tonight, and if his future does lie away from Teesside out on loan for the first half or all of the season, I think there'll be a few potential suitors for him on the back of the way that he's played this evening.
Yeah, definitely a very, very good target man. Strong, powerful, holds the ball up well.
Gilbert for Middlesbrough, bringing it back and getting it forward again, and here's Coburn once more, and he's running at Joe Roden towards the edge of the penalty area. Coburn had options either side of him. He just tried to flick it out to his left for Azaz, and in doing so has actually had a free kick given against him. There's a block. Leeds wanted to take it quickly, and referee Backhouse said that they were trying to take it too quickly. So play will be pulled back. Middlesbrough are going to make changes as well. We're going to see Micah Hamilton come on, a player that they signed from Manchester City last Friday. Man who scored for City in the Champions League last season. That was on his full City debut, and there's still time for him to do something on his Borough debut. They'll also be bringing on a man who scored 12 goals in his last 13 Middlesbrough appearances, Emmanuel Latte-Lat. So he'll be on in a moment as well. Double change imminent for Borough with 10 minutes to go. Talking about Leeds fixture list coming up. Middlesbrough go to Derby at the weekend, then Portsmouth at home next for them. Clark, sliding challenge, puts the ball out of play. It's a throw which will be taken over on the Leeds United right. Middlesbrough will make the double change first though. So first on Hamilton for his Borough debut, and he's going to be replacing Isaiah Jones. And Latte-Lat will replace Josh Coburn, who gets a good ovation from the Borough supporters as he leaves the field. Double change with 9 to go.
Yeah, both players getting a really good reception. Again, it's 4,000 Borough fans. I've travelled down. Okay, it's just over an hour or so, but fair play to them. Coming down on a weeknight for a cup game. Great support from both sets of fans. But I think clearly at the moment the Borough fans are going to be the ones going home happy.
Well, they haven't won here, Middlesbrough, in 8 attempts since 13 years ago yesterday when Marvin Emness scored the only goal between the two sides. Much more comprehensive tonight. 3-0 in what's actually the first ever League Cup meeting of the two sides, surprisingly. Leeds will hope that they don't come up against them again anytime soon. Ball will be played forward down the Middlesbrough left. They win a free kick. Who's made it through at the MKM? Jeff Peters.
11 changes for Sheffield Wednesday, but they're through, beating Hull 2-1. Charlie McNeil on debut scoring twice, the first after 25 seconds and then again with a tap-in just after Marvin Malem levelled. Hull furious when Burns had a second-half equaliser controversially ruled out. Hull 1, Wednesday 2.
So Wednesday through, Plymouth are through, and Middlesbrough will be joining them in about 11-12 minutes' time. They're 3-0 up here at Leeds. Gilbert in possession for Borough, put under pressure by Bamford, who played nearly 100 games for Middlesbrough. Gilbert then has given it away. Bamford played inside the left-hand side of the penalty area. It takes a deflection. His ball to Rothwell, almost fell for Nonto. Middlesbrough defending mob-handedly are going to be able to get it away with Morris. And he's clipped it into space. Laddie Latt does well, comes back, reads the situation better than any of the Leeds players. And picked up possession, is able to recycle it. Back he goes for Azaz. Dijksdale. It's lost out to Nonto. The ball now stuck between the feet of Dijksdale. Nonto's persistence is rewarded. And he's able to play it wide to the right-hand side for Jayden Bogle. Left-footed effort from the edge of the area. A screaming shot that comes back off the post. And then Peru, 7 yards out, heads the rebound wide. Really good attempt coming in from distance. Left-footed effort hit with real venom. And Peru, 7 yards out, just ducked onto it and could have made the most of Ruta's brilliance which had preceded it.
They needed that to go in to give them any sort of chance to get back into this game. I mean, Bogut, he comes in, it's speculative. It's a great shot, great technique with his left foot, arguably his weaker side, in off the inside of the post. Peru just can't quite react quick enough.
Leeds will come forward again. Bamford. And he's crowded out of it on the edge of the box. There wasn't anything in the way of immediate support. Borough getting it forward, getting it away. Hamilton, though, can't hold it up. Strout wins it back. Now Hamilton can clear. Gilbert cleverly finds Dijksdale coming in off the right flank. Play back towards the edge of the penalty area by Barlasa. And Middlesbrough will turn it forward with Morris.
Borough are much calmer, aren't they? You know, they're now playing in the mould of their manager. You know, they're very calm on the ball. They're not panicking. Leeds at the moment, everything's very, very frantic. It's 200 miles an hour at the moment.
Bryn clipping it from the edge of his own penalty area, trying to play out from the back. Ruta got his head to it, but it hit his head really rather than being able to steer a header towards goal, and it's gone wide. Crowd of just over 35,000 here tonight, and 31,000 of those are pretty disenchanted. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 3.
And there's plenty leaving now as well already. Plenty of empty seats around already.
Well, the sports bar is going to make for a very interesting listen tonight. Leeds fans, what do you make of tonight? What do you make of the start of the season? What do you make of the last 3 or 4 months, the transfer activity? 03717 223344 is the number that will get you through to the boys on the sports bar tonight. Following us, we'll have reaction as well from both camps. 3-0 to Middlesbrough. 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time, and the camera has panned into Daniel Farker, whose green eyes piercing, very unhappy quite clearly with what he's seen here this evening.
Well, because now that the game obviously on Sunday against West Brom has even more significance, you know, even more pressure on that one. And then if you don't manage to win that one, you think, well, 3 games, no win. Okay, I know that happened start of last season, but that was a new manager coming in, relegation, lots of changes. Pressure is going to start to mount if they don't get a result on Sunday.
They'll bring it forward here, Leeds, but the crossfield pass to Nonto has gone straight out of play. Well, you look back at what's happened over the summer. Gray's gone, Somerville's gone, Cresswell, Llorente squad players, Ayling wasn't here for the last 3 months of last season anyway. Kamara's gone to Rennes. Mark Rocker's left as well for what it's worth. It's sort of a mix and match Leeds United side.
Yeah, but equally, you know, Verba comes back in, international.
Yeah.
You know, Aronson comes back in, international. Nonto's still here. Bamford's still here. Rutter's still here. Pirro's still here. Ampadu's international. You've still got enough players in there that you should be better at this stage.
And here's another with Strauch finding Nonto.
He effectively lost 2 first-team players in Somerville and Gray.
Leeds have it coming in off the right-hand side. Here's Joe Rothwell. Play forward by Gruev. Nonto straight back to him. And then continuing his run down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Strauch finding Nonto's delivery, evaded Bamford. Hamilton will try and get it away. And then Gilbert can help it on towards Morris. He's looked really accomplished in the heart of the Middlesbrough midfield. Leeds have won it back though with Ruta. Leeds fans urging him to shoot. He does so. It's taking the deflection. And it comes off McCormick and will be clear. Ladilat tried to hold it up. Claimed that he was fouled there by Ampadu. Borough win it back and Azaz looks for Ladilat but can't find him. And Joe Roden's going to be able to bring it forward. 3 minutes more for Leeds fans to endure here, plus stoppage time. Nonto plays it down the line for Strauch. Bamford's making his run in towards the near post, come off Ayling and then back into Strauch and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think it's just a real, and we talked about it in the first half, the Leeds dominated possession. A lack of idea and a real lack of quality in the final third of creating clear-cut chances. They got into really good positions, had some really good possession, and then it looked just a little bit like not quite sure where to go from here.
Azaz is inside the centre circle, nicks it off to his right-hand side. Gilbert can come forward again. Hamilton towards the edge of the penalty area. Leeds backing off. Hamilton plays it back for Dijkstale. Score of the first goal for Middlesbrough. Bergzorgen, Coburn added goals 2 and 3. 3 in a devastating 17-minute spell. Ball is out for a throw. Hamilton just being given the hurry up by the assistant referee. In no great hurry to take this throw. He's going to leave it for Dijkstale. Dijkstale with the throw in towards Azaz. The Irishman tried to turn, couldn't beat Gruev, and then Roden gets it back to his goalkeeper. Cleared by Darlow. Those Middlesbrough fans in fine voice again. Real exhibition of limbs away to the right-hand side, even with the ball in open play at the moment. They've thoroughly loved their night here, the travelling Teessiders. Coming in off the right flank, Leeds United have possession. Forward it goes from Ampadu. Now down the line from Bogle, but it's just hitting hope really. I saw the run ahead of him, Peru, and it's gone straight out of play for a goal kick. It'll be taken away to the left-hand side by Solbury.
What you just saw from those Borough fans, that'll be happening inside Luke Ayling at the moment. It probably won't show it, but there's nothing better than coming back to your old club. Even though he loved it here and he got a massive ovation, and rightly so, I guarantee inside he will be just as happy as all those Borough fans.
Clearance from Bryn. Big night for him, and it looks as though it's going to be a clean sheet for him on his Borough debut. McCormick, another debutant, back for Clark. Clark finds his goalkeeper again. Plenty of blue seats visible all around the ground now, except away to the right-hand side. I don't think anybody's heading back for Teesside just yet. Barlasa turning it to Morris. And on the edge of his own penalty area, Ayling will find Clark. Clark goes back for his goalkeeper, and Bryn will clear. Not the best clearance, didn't get too much height on it, but goes through towards Ampadu, and there are 8 extra minutes.
From where?
Well, there was I suppose a couple of lengthy stoppages for injury, but I wasn't expecting 8 minutes when you bear in mind that Leeds made 5 changes all at once.
That's what I mean. It's like, that's not... You can't start claiming 30 seconds of sub when there's 5 at once, can you?
Leeds want the ball inside the penalty area. Bamford attacking at the far post. Didn't get there. Bryn does, and is able to bring the ball under control. Full time in Warsaw. Here's Kevin Hatchard.
Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0. Real have won the UEFA Super Cup for a record 6th time. A tap-in on 59 minutes from Fede Valverde and a debut goal for Kylian Mbappe on 68 to finish Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0.
And now just one defeat in their last 50 games. The unbeaten streak extended to 27. The one they've all got to beat. Middlesbrough playing it forward here. Lat to the edge of the penalty area. Touch took him wider than he wanted to go. Strauch followed him every step of the way, but he held it up well for Gilbert. And then an effort comes across the face of goal, only narrowly wide from Azaz. and Darlow was grasping at fresh air as the ball beat him. Very grateful to hear it thump back off the hoardings behind his goal.
I think what would be a worry for Leeds and other coaches and managers we're looking at, not just the ease that Borough have got in behind the Leeds defence at times, they don't look to have a lot of pace in defence, and that has been their real undoing at times.
Middlesbrough had this sussed and worked out how to beat them. In the second half they've been superb. Strout manhandles Hamilton.
It's a forearm smash.
That's rewarded with a yellow card. That's just born of frustration.
Oh, it's a clear foul.
Third Leeds player to have his name taken tonight. Borough have got 3 in the book as well. And a free kick that Barlas is going to take. 6 minutes of stoppage time still to go. Barlas are taking this free kick with a long switch of play out towards the far touchline. Bogle winning it in the air above McCormick. And the Borough left back substitute is herring back to get back in position. Bogle laying it off through the midfield. Bamford involved. Now Nonto. Stroud continues his run forward. Nonto with good quick feet. Running in towards the edge of the penalty area and winning a corner off the retreating Hamilton. 3-0 to Middlesbrough. 5 stoppage time minutes for Leeds to make an extraordinary comeback here. Nonto to take the corner. Left-footed in-swinging delivery. Headed away. Goes outside the penalty area. Gruev's going to chase after that. He will keep it in. Back it goes for Bogle. Bogle to Rothwell. Rothwell poking it forward through the midfield for Peru. Peru out to the right. Left-footed, it's clipped in. A looping header from Peru. Straight into the hands of Bryn.
Again, it's hope, I think, for Leeds in that final third at the moment. Individuals just trying to get the ball, trying to make something happen, trying to force the issue. And I guess that's really been what they've been like all evening long. Hasn't really been a set way to attack Middlesbrough.
Do you think at any level there is a hangover from what happened last season?
Oh, massively. It's a little bit what people are talking about. Arsenal, can go again this season. Yeah, they've gone second. When you've come close, to pick yourself up and go again for a third time is very, very difficult. So I think, Leeds got relegated. They came close last season. Can you go again the next season and be even better than you were the previous? It's tough. Mentally it's tough. Physically it's tough. And that's why you need to bring players in of higher quality to freshen it up.
The Leeds now have a free kick, which was won by Nonto. It's a clever turn from him. He wants to take the free kick quickly. Barlas is stopping that happening by standing right in front of where the free kick is going to be taken from.
Sir Alex Ferguson was always the greatest, wasn't he? You'd win a trophy or you'd come second, he would add 3 players. But I'm talking first team starters. We'll just go, boom, there you go. I've improved the starting 11. Leeds have lost players. They haven't improved their starting 11 yet.
3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Gruev's going to take this free kick. He scored in Leeds' last home game from a free kick in a not dissimilar position at the other end of the ground against Norwich. What's he going to be able to do here? It's right of centre, but not by much. 12 yards outside the box. Left-footed curling effort. Bryn had it covered as he dived to his left. He withdrew his hands behind it. Knew it was going wide. Had a play for a goal kick. And it's still 3-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it was going to have to be something very, very special from there. I've seen Ian Hart do that a few times in my career here, but I haven't seen Gruev do that too often.
Well, when Ian Hart was playing, they needed a full-back who could do something in front of goal.
Too right.
Play forward by Ayling. Flipped on by Hamilton, knocked away by Gruev.
I think Harty's right foot was better than mine, and he was a left-back.
I'm saying nothing. Ball played forward by Peru, knocked away by Dijkstone. And he gets it back to his goalkeeper, Bryn. Left-footed ball played forward out towards the far touchline. The reaction from the Leeds fans is going to be very interesting.
I'd be surprised if there aren't a few boos. Very, very surprised.
Well, it's just the level of them.
Yeah. And we talked about this earlier. Leeds fans are some of the best on the planet. You know, home and away, they are unbelievable. And the atmosphere they create here is something different and something very, very special. But when it goes against you, and when you're getting beat, and when they think maybe you're not trying hard enough or doing what they want you to do, it can be a very, very difficult place to play.
Well, Matt Clark for Middlesbrough, the centre-half, couldn't quite adjust his feet in time down by his own dead ball line. And he's ended up giving a cheap corner away here, which Leeds will take. Very much in the realm of just getting a consolation now. Latte Lat heads the corner away. We go back out towards the far touchline again. Another left-footed in-swinging delivery. Stroud comes to meet it, got nothing on it. Then Peru coming round the back. If he'd made contact and steered it towards goal, would have scored. But he couldn't reach. And that's probably just about Bryn's first error of the night. He just got caught underneath that. But he's got away with it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick, and this one's going to end 3-0.
Yeah, he tried to come through a crowd of players, and I think it was Pascal Stroud that just got in his way, couldn't quite get to the ball net, and to be fair, it was a difficult one for Peru, coming through loads of players at the back post.
Long clearance from Bryn, goes over towards the far touchline. Latte Lat trying to hold it up. Man has scored 4 goals in his 2 games against Leeds last season. They haven't needed him for anything more than a 15-minute cameo tonight. There's Strauch, 20 seconds remaining. The volume of any adverse reaction is certainly going to be diminished by the fact that so many Leeds fans have already gone. Bamford slices a left-footed shot wide from a tight angle, and that is that. A number of boos, a significant number of boos greeting the full-time whistle. Leeds, okay in the first half, completely off it in the second, and taken apart with goals from Dijksdale, Bergsall and Coburn. It was a magnificent second half performance from Middlesbrough. That might get lost in the general narrative of Leeds United woe tonight. What a poor start of the season. Shipped 3 at home to Portsmouth here and salvaged a draw at the weekend. Shipped 3 at home to Borough tonight and are out of the League Cup at the first round stage. Excellent performance from Middlesbrough, but so many questions for Leeds. Leeds 0, Middlesbrough 3.
Well, we've all experienced it, some more than others, but being in that away end, away corner tonight with those Borough fans must be something very, very special. They've had a right good sing-song. They've shown us all their limbs, and they're getting ready to celebrate once the players and the staff, including Michael Carrick, go over to applaud them for their support tonight. That is a brilliant moment for them. What a moment for Luke Ayling as well, to come back, come on, be the skipper, and Borough win 3-0 against the club where he's a legend. Absolutely amazing for him. Loads to talk about from it. You could get your reaction in the sports bar, 03717 2233 44. But Borough fans were singing Leeds are falling apart again. It's a common song, usually towards the end of a season when they blow automatic promotion. But at times they did look like they were falling apart, Leeds United. First of all, though, Danny Mills, I want to talk about Middlesbrough. At times, second half, it looked like they had 11 Michael Carricks out there. They were fantastic, picking perfect passes, executing finishes superbly. It was brilliant football.
Well, they're in the mould of their manager, aren't they? You know, they're calm on the ball, they're calm under pressure. He wants them to play, and they're not scared to hit that Michael Carrick ping out wide 40, 50 yards, which takes 3 or 4 players out of the game, gets people one-on-one, and as we saw, if the opposition don't defend properly, you get in on goal very, very easily. Football doesn't have to be played one way. It doesn't have to be tick-a-tacker. You don't have to pass it 5 yards every single time. There's nothing wrong with getting the ball, getting your head up, zinging one out wide and getting one-on-ones with wingers and fullbacks.
Defending, from a Leeds point of view, optional at best. For the first one, Aronson, Firpo, Roden, pathetic, truly pathetic defending. For the second one, it's one pass, brilliant pass from Coburn, and Bergsall is through and scores. That's from Borough's own half. And for the third goal, 5 subs had just come on. Seconds later, 3 of them weren't even alive or awake to what was going on, and Borough score again. Truly pathetic defending from Leeds United. Farker has to take some responsibility for that, and he's got to work on it.
Yeah, he's got to take responsibility, I think, for making the 5 substitutions in one go as well.
Incredible.
That's massively disruptive to the team.
It's not a pre-season friendly, mate.
No, it's hugely disruptive because you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, who's going on where? Who's slotting in? Normally you'd make maybe 2 or 3, then you wait 5 minutes and you make another 2 or 3, whichever way around you haven't done it. But to make all 5 at once, and for none of those players to be awake and alive, yeah, the manager has to hold it up for that third goal, I think.
And very quickly, Leeds created very little as well until the game was done and they were trying to pile forward. There were 1 or 2 frantic moments where they might have been fortunate to get a goal, but it would have been a consolation. Going forward, I know it wasn't their first 11 that started the game, but they created so little. I mean, the fact they scored a lot and created more on Saturday, they'll look at that and say, well, we can do it. This might be a one-off, but that was worrying tonight.
Yeah, and that would be my concern. If you haven't got your best front 3 players out there because of an injury or whatever it might be, then it's going to be difficult. And like we said, they had good possession. They didn't do a huge amount with that in the final third, and there may be reasons for that. It's early season. There were 7 changes, 8 changes, this evening to the starting 11. But that's not good enough. We talked about it at the very, very beginning. Some players will come out here and go, look, I want to get a move. I'm going to show people that I should either be in the first team or I'm good enough to go out on loan. Not many players from Leeds did that this evening.
Danny Mills, thank you very much. Jim Proudfoot, thank you very much. Leeds out in the first round for the first time in 9 seasons. Last season's semi-finalists Middlesbrough cruised through and boy did their fans enjoy it. Elsewhere, Kylian Mbappe